Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today it's a Marvel Snap one and we're going to be looking at some of the new cards that have been data mined in the new patch. And it looks like we are getting more spiders as we did expect. We have some spicy abilities, so let's take a look. The first card that we're going to be checking out is Arana, I think how that's, I assume that's how that's said. This is a character I know nothing about. I don't know if this is the child of Peter Parker or not. I've done zero research before I saw these cards. They literally just came out, so I thought I'd just give my thoughts. So because this is the first one, I feel like this could well be a battle pass card as well, because it's like, oh, here's the character you guys may not know, as we check out some others in a little bit. So Arana is a 2/2 with activate, give the last card you played +2 power and move it to the right. Now let's talk about the ability first. Give the last card you played +2 power and move it to the right. Incredibly powerful. It's basically just optional move plus power gain. You can use this in all the movement style decks, of course, as well as just using it to just bait your opponent. I've previously used Ghost Spider for this sort of thing, which is obviously cheaper, but you do not have to play this in the location that you want to move the thing to, so it opens up some more options. Now, the biggest question mark is the word activate. This looks like it's just a new mechanic, I think. This could, again, these are data mines, nothing is confirmed, everything can change, you guys know this. However, I will say that I think Second Dinner have sort of been half talking about new mechanics coming to the game, and if I would have to guess, activate is basically a one-use ability on the card, but the card has to be on the board. So I would guess you could play this on turn 2, maybe you can activate it on the turn you play it, we will see, but my guess would be from turn 3 onwards, you, as well as playing cards, you can click Arana and she'll be highlighted, for example, and then that is saying she will activate. Whether that happens at the start of a turn of reveals or at the end, who knows at this point, but that would be my guess, that it's actually a usable, almost clickable ability. Fingers crossed, because if that's the case, they just opened up a lot of design space in Marvel Snap. So this card seems very powerful, nice and cheap, and with a potentially very powerful effect if you can choose when that actually goes off. Because also your opponent won't know when it's going to go off. So if it works like that, we'll see. Next up, we have a character a lot of you will know, which is Madam Webb. Maybe not the best character. Don't think about the film. Think about the character from, say, the cartoon and stuff. Where this is Madam Webb. She is a 2/3. She has ongoing. You can move one of your other characters away from here each turn. So basically, wherever she is, any cards that are there, you can move anywhere else once per turn. Each turn. So yeah, you can do it once per turn that she's down. So pretty powerful, again, pretty interesting, because there's worlds where you can move stuff away and then maybe move her somehow somewhere else, and then you can move stuff away again, maybe with Beast or something. So pretty interesting. Again, I'm a sucker for move. I really like that playstyle, so move, getting more tools in the form of more spiders, is definitely a positive. Next up, we have Scarlet Spider. Which, again, I know this is a bit of a crowd favorite character as well. 4/5 Scarlet Spider, activate again. Add an exact clone of this to another location. And this is why I think activate works how I guessed it works, because you could play Scarlet Spider, but you could buff him beforehand, or you could buff him after the fact, say with Ironheart or what else gives buffs after the fact? I'm not sure. Ironheart and Odin, let's say. My brain's gone a bit blank. So this is actually pretty powerful. You can activate and he just creates another copy of himself in another location. 4/5 is okay stats. It's kind of 4/10, but again, for example, activate could cost energy. It could cost you 1 energy to activate it, for all we know. So depending on exactly how activate works, if it costs energy, we can reevaluate cards, but in general, it feels like a strong effect, because it does say add which means it wouldn't be able to go into locations that lock out. Like, I imagine this wouldn't be able to go into a space throne with another character there. However, it would be able to go to locations that say you can't normally play. Basically, Jeff locations a lot of the time, or like locations to move to. So we will see. It does seem quite powerful overall, though. And I can definitely see this being interesting, depending, again, as usual, on how Activate works. Next up, we have... Oh, is that okay? Yeah, there we go. Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, before we get into the card, I do just want to talk about how, again, similar to Activate, this can open up a lot of room for Second Dinner. Because for the longest time, I've said, pretty much since the game came out, I've said, like, I would love to see characters at different times. The easiest example, for example, is like, we have Doctor Strange. Could we have Sorcerer Supreme Strange? As a separate card, it's still Doctor Strange, but it's a separate time, a separate sort of version of that character. And from what we've heard from Second Dinner in the past, they do not want to do this. I think the Spiders get away with it because of how popular Spider-Verse is, and I think a lot of people have accepted that, yeah, there are loads of spiders from who knows where. Sure, let's go. Whereas, someone can correct me in the comments, I guess, but I do not know if Symbiote Spider-Man is actually a separate Spider-Man, or if they're just saying it's just Spider-Man when he has the symbiote suit, right? Which has happened many times. I hope it's when he has the symbiote suit, because that means we can get more sort of alternate characters, I guess. So we'll see if that happens in the future. Look at the card, though. He is a 4/6. Again, Activate. Merge your lowest cost card here with this. Copy its text like it just revealed. So this is kind of spicy, because as an example, from my understanding, this card basically gets the card text. So I assume this could effectively gain Deadpool's ability. He could just become whatever card you've copied, but it would be the lowest cost card. So like Deadpool is one that jumps to mind, right? You could play if you draw Deadpool late, you can play this and he merges, gains the text, and then kill that. Gains 6 extra power, which could be pretty cool. There's a few other things as well. Even if you look at, you could play this again on a, well, I mean, loads of stuff, honestly. I'm just trying to think what merging it and gaining its text, what kind of benefit those cards could give. Deadpool was definitely the first one that came to mind. It does, I believe, do on reveal effects as well, so it works, I think, kind of like an Odin that targets the lowest cost card. So if you do Ironheart, I think this would, you would play it, activate it, it merges with Ironheart and then does the Ironheart ability again. So that's definitely another factor. But again, all of this will revolve around in how exactly Activate works. Judging on the power of these abilities, I can definitely see Activate costing something, like an energy, or maybe costing exactly an energy. Because I feel like it's either going to cost an energy, or it costs nothing and you just do it the turn after, or you can do it from the turn after you play the card. If they're free and you can just press a button after you've played them and they do it, that is going to be very strong, because the balance gets really crazy when you can just choose when an effect goes off, right? Either way, they are definitely going to be exciting. And there's a lot of options with this as well, just before we move on to the next one, because it's Activate, you don't have to set this up, right? Like, you can, I wonder, this would be kind of interesting. You could like Shuri on 4 or 3 in some scenarios, Symbiote on 5, or Symbiote the turn after Shuri. Then, so Spider-Man becomes a 12, then he can activate Shuri's ability again, I would imagine, if that's how it works. Ooh, I knocked my camera, which would be really spicy. There's a lot of crazy things you can do with these Activate cards. So yeah, that's a Symbiote Spider-Man. Okay, and next up we have Silver Sable. She is a 1/1. And she has on reveal, steal 2 power from the top card of your opponent's deck. So she's effectively always, well, unless her on reveal doesn't go off for some reason, she is always going to be a 1/3, and she can negate power from the opponent, and also she can obviously be re-triggered or absorbing manned, the usual on reveal scenarios. I do think this is going to be pretty good though, because It's a solid 1-drop. She is, like I said, almost always going to be a 1/3, and there are some hits you can get which will make a massive impact. Hitting anything -2 powers, okay, but when you look at the likes of, Brood, hitting like any Thanos stones, which then make them -power, which is important. Hitting stuff like Iron Man, hitting anything that Cerebro plays that isn't Luke Cage, right? If they don't get to play Luke Cage, or if they're playing C2, C5, whatever. I think this is a pretty solid card, and with the ability to potentially steal more power with repeat ongoings. Like, imagine with Wong, you steal 4 power from the card, so then Sable becomes a 1/5 that has -4 off of your opponent's next card draw. That's pretty strong overall. So Silver Sable, although doesn't feel like it's going to have the complexity or the craziness of the other spiders we've looked at earlier, I think Silver Sable here is looking pretty solid as just that good solid 1-drop. Yeah, and I think that's it. Those are the big card reveals. These are on snap.fan, so make sure to swing by and check them out if you want to take a look yourself. But yeah, these cards look nuts. I'm looking forward to Activate. I always love it when the game adds more spiders in, and these abilities seem quite interesting. So hopefully we get some more updates on maybe what exactly Activate is, and if I guessed right or guessed wrong. That is going to be it, though. Just a quick roundup and a quick sort of showing you guys the cards. Let me know what you think of the cards, which one's your favorite, which one do you think is going to be the most powerful, but also let me know what you think Activate is. Do you agree, or do you have some other ideas? As usual, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.